Hey guys, it's Matt, and I'm gonna take you through a 13-minute core exercise. And when you think of the core, everything improves when you get a stronger core. I'm gonna talk about flexibility today. Maybe you have tight hips, tight hamstrings. And if we start to strengthen some muscles that are weak, whether it's our abs, our lower back, maybe our glutes, we start to have this solid core. So join me. What you're gonna need is you're gonna need a green, red, yellow band, a mat, maybe a towel, a Swiss ball, and that's all we're gonna use today. So whether this is part of an exercise routine or this is the entire exercise routine, 13-minute core. So here's where I wanna begin. I just wanna start with a little warm up. We're gonna do some lateral lunges. And what we're gonna do here is just kind of warm up the hips. So we're gonna go to the left. And what I find is my hips get tight, my lower back gets tight, and then I stop using some of those muscles in my core like they're designed to be used. So 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna come over here, we're gonna go to the right. So lateral lunge, just kind of warming up the hip flexors, getting that back activated. Now go at your own pace, perfect the ordinary. If you can't do something today, maybe you can do it tomorrow. We don't have to do everything overnight. Okay, we're gonna spread our feet apart. This is a kind of a straight-legged lunge. We're going 90 degrees with our left knee, back leg straight, and I just wanna drop down in just a little modified lunge. Again, stretching that hip flexor, warming up your glutes. If you wanna put arms overhead, again, one of the things I like to think about with core is, can I lengthen? We sit all day, we're in flexion. If I can get into more extension, I'm gonna have a stronger, more solid core. Switch sides. So we're going 90 degrees, back leg straight, and then we're just doing a little modified lunge. Just activating some muscles before we get into the core exercise. Okay, a couple rotations here. I want you to get pretty wide, and we're just gonna rotate. Switching sides. Opposite heel comes up. I want you to get really low here. Really activate your hips. If this bothers your back, the more bending you have in your knees, the more flexion you have in your hips, the better we're warming up the body. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's start with the green band. And if this is new for you, maybe you just start with a yellow band. But I'm gonna start with a green band. I'm gonna put it around my right leg. And I call this wood chop or putting something on the shelf. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get a solid base. We're gonna reach down, push up. So reach down, push up, working our obliques. We're gonna go through 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Switch sides. One of my favorite movements, we're getting a squat with a press. Really working that core, getting our glutes fired up. When you think of the core, don't just think about your abs. Think about your entire body. 3, 2, 1. Okay, drop the band. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come to a wall. You can find any wall. I'm gonna go a foot away from the wall to start. Spread my feet a little wider and shoulder width. I'm gonna take my arms overhead, touch the wall. Then I'm gonna come under and touch the wall. This is called up and under. Up and under. The further you move away from the wall, the more this is stretching. A great little assessment is, can you get a foot away from the wall and touch overhead and underneath? Hamstrings, core, obliques, back, shoulders. Again, everything's connected. 3, 2, last one. All right, walk around. So we're gonna go back to the wood chop we're putting on the shelf, but before we do that, when we're working the front side of the body, doing core exercises, whether it's crunches, We're gonna do a couple bicycles later. We gotta understand that the hip flexor's here. If that hip flexor is too tight because we're doing too much core, kind of defeats some of the purpose. So one of the exercises I love to add while I'm doing core in between sets is a dancer pose. And so if you see me from the side here, what I want you to do is I want you to grab your ankle. This is step one. Can you grab your ankle? And really try to make sure that you're not having too much anterior tilt. You're getting that pelvis in a good neutral position. Stand up tall. From here, what I want you to do is try to move your knee out, elevate your heel from your glute, really stretch the body, especially the hip flexor, quad. I'm feeling it in my left hamstring, calf. 3, 2, 1. Other side. So this is a dancer pose. Again, neutral position. Can we start to feel that in our hip flexor, especially in our maybe lower abs? Then we start to move away the heel from the glute, getting into this full dancer position. Hold, 3, 2, 1. All right, if you did the green band the first time, let's switch to the red band. I'm gonna start with my left leg this time. Get really wide. And if you wanna grab the mesh, sometimes that gives you a little bit more leverage. We're gonna squat down, up over the right side. Squatting, lifting. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. So good, solid position. I want you to activate that butt, up and over. Don't need a lot of weight. Even this red is maybe a little too much. 2, 1. Drop the band. Last stretch here, come to the wall. Up and unders. This time I'm gonna go 1.5 feet. I'm gonna go down, touch, up and over. So if you have to stay at a foot, stay at a foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, walk around, grab a drink. So that's some standing core stability, core flexibility, getting the body activated. Now what I want you to do is grab your Swiss ball, roll down to the mat, and there's so many exercises we can do with the Swiss ball. What I like about the Swiss ball, it gives us some extension when we're doing some of the flexion. So what I want us to do here is I want to get the ball middle back, kind of your lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and I want you to take your arms overhead. If you can kind of hold in this position, you're in a good spot. From here, we're going to take our arms straight up, chest is going to stay high, feet are going to be fairly wide. We're going to rotate and then rotate. So this is just a rotation on a Swiss ball, a really safe movement. You can kind of tell where your range of motion is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, I want your feet a little bit closer. You're going to take your arms overhead. You're going to take your right hand, touch your left knee. Left hand, touch the right knee. Let's go 4 each side. 1, 2. Breathe. 3. Last one. 4. Stand up, sit on the ball, kind of loosen up the body. So what we're doing here with the Swiss ball is, again, we're giving some stability to the lower back, at the same time creating some extension and flexion to really strengthen the core. And so we're not only just strengthening, which is sometimes contraction, we're also lengthening. So when you think of somebody that's rounded or poor posture, that's a core issue. At the same time, it's a flexibility issue. So now that we know the movement, we're gonna go through 10 reps each exercise. I want you to get into that position again. Middle back, arms straight up, feet a little wider than shoulder width. Rotation for 10. 4. 6. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Get your feet closer. This time I want you to get your feet together. A little less stability. You're gonna take your arms overhead, touch the opposite knee. Can you squeeze those knees together? Can you get into that full extension? 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Stand up, stretch it out, grab a drink. Really a tough exercise. It does a lot of things, creating flexibility, creating range of motion, but I think you all can feel it's creating that strength. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on the mat now. So we're not gonna need our bands. If you wanna put a towel under your lower back, if you get sore, that's what the towel's for. And what we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start working the back side of the body. So what we wanna do here is we wanna get our feet together. Okay, feet together, palms down. And I want you to kind of pull your knees outward. And we're gonna lift for a bridge. And when we keep those feet together and we're really focusing on pulling those knees out, it engages that lower back. Feel your lower back, fires up your glutes, and really works those hamstrings. One of my favorite exercises, really good at creating that hip opening. So we're going down and then hold maybe 3 seconds coming up. Let's go through 5 reps here. 2, pause, come on up. Really squeeze those knees, squeeze the glutes, squeeze your lower back. You don't have to overextend. Last 2, up. Breathe. Last one. Your legs will start shaking. It means it's working. 3, 2, 1, drop. Okay, let's flip over. I'm gonna face the camera here. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a spinal balance, and I'm gonna face this way. I want you to kick out your right leg. And spinal balance, you could take the other arm and take it out in front of you. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna kick it out. Then I wanna take it across your body. So you're going opposite direction, really stretching your right side, and then I want you to take it and kick it out to the right. So this is neutral, great. Lock it in. Can I keep my hips neutral, shoulder blades pinched, core engaged, and then I take it across the body, and then I kick it out. So 3 here. So neutral, across, kick it out. Neutral, across, kick it out. One more, across, kick it out. Switch sides. So again, you'll find one side has more flexibility, more strength. And so we're getting into this neutral position, core is engaged, chest is high, across the body. You know, as a golfer, this side tends to be a little tighter. Kick it out, neutral. 4 more, across, kick it out, back to center. So across the body, feels so good. Kicking it out, position we're not in a lot, back to neutral. Last 2, across, kick it out, neutral. 1 more. Okay, back on the mat. So here's what we're gonna do. So we did the bridge. We're gonna go a different version of the bridge. I want your feet kicked out where your knees are maybe 6-7 inches from the ground. I want you to keep your toes together, your knees together, and we're gonna lift. This is called a reverse plank. We're gonna hold this 10 seconds. Chest stays high, glutes are engaged, core is working, hamstrings are on fire, and the key here is, can I keep my toes together? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Bend your knees, rock them side to side, give yourself a little recovery. Reverse plank. Everyone's talking about a plank, but are you doing a reverse plank? Again, the back side of the body needs a little bit more attention than most of us give it. 3, 2, 1. Back into a reverse plank. The more I kick my feet out, the harder this is. So I'm going to maybe go to 4 inches with my knee from the floor. Toes together, heels together. Squeeze the glutes. Lift. Can I engage my core? Are my hamstrings kicked in? Are my glutes kicked in? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock side to side. When we rock to the left or to the right, rotate your neck to the left. Rock to the left, rotate your neck to the right. Okay, on the Swiss ball, we did the opposite knee. I'm going to show you how to do that on the ground. So we're going to lift our heels. Knees are about 90 degrees. Maybe my heel is 1 inch higher than my knees. If you went a top down, you'll see there's no space. Arms overhead, and we're chopping to the left side. Left arm, right knee. Let's go 10 here. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. Rock your knees side to side. Again, for guys, that's a harder exercise, but the key is, can I keep those knees together? It's working that pelvic floor, making sure that you're using all those small muscles throughout the core. Okay, flip over. Now this is going to be a little modification, little cat-cow, and what we're going to do here is we're going to be start in a cow, and I want you to really engage your navel, so your belly button, but I want you to make sure that you have a neutral lower back. Shoulder blades squeezed, and so we're going to come up into a cat, and then can we get into more of a cow? Gaze starts to go to the ceiling. So cat, cow. And assess yourself. How is your range of motion throughout these movements? My extension's a little limited. My flexion's actually pretty good. So flexion, just cat, extension, cow. 2 more. Squeeze. Last one. Okay, we're going to kick the toes out. And this is a thoracic extension, so your thoracic spine extension. And you're going to get your elbows as far away from the body as you can. And I want your palms kind of about 4 inches away from each other. And from here, we're going to just take our hips down and stretch that thoracic extension. Now, when we come up, we're going to drop our hips. So this is kind of relieving all that pressure, and then this is stretching. So we're coming up, dropping our hips. You're saying, wow, I've never really done this stretch. This is an amazing stretch, especially if you're sitting a lot. That thoracic spine gets tight. Again, part of the core, and we create flexibility and strength at the same time. One more, come on up, drop your hips, elbows on the mat, really create that extension. Okay, home stretch here. So we're gonna take our right leg out, Our knee's gonna be a little away from center. And what I want you to do here is I want you to put your hands about shoulder width. This is the stretch number 1. Working my inner groin, hip flexor, back. Again, can I get into a neutral position where I'm not cocked? And I'm gonna take my arm straight up. And then I'm gonna go under the body. So up and across. I feel this in my left hip flexor when I come across. I feel this in my groin, my lower back when I come up. 2 more. Last one. Switch sides. So kicking my foot out left, my knee is a little bit away from center. Get into this neutral position. Kick my butt back. Chest is elevated. Coming up and across the body. 3, 2, 1. Kick your toes out. We're gonna end today with a little child's pose. Can I get my heels and my butt together? Slowly walk your fingertips out from the body. Again, as we build our core, everything improves. It's not only strength, it's flexibility. So let's end with 30 seconds of a nice little recovery. Can we take our fingertips to the right? Really stretches the left side of the midsection. 4, 3, 2, and then can we go to the left? Really working that right side. So thanks for joining me. Build your core, everything else will improve. And remember, if we can open our hips, increase the range of motion in our hamstrings, and strengthen that core, again, everything we do gets better. We'll see you again next time.